lot of magic damage,
Right.
and BKB pretty much gives him protection against everything that they do have.
We'll see how quickly he wants to go for the BKB. We'll see if either team is able to pick up first blood before the bounties. I love this set. This clockwork bunny set that they were just showing in the showcase mode for PYW. Quite an adorable one. No, neither team going just yet, but there's the 5-man smoke from Azure. I still don't know what the answer is to what is an Azure.
I think you should be watching interview with Pyrian Flax, TI 2023. I believe he asked the question. I don't remember the answer though.
Yeah, I remember the interview. I don't remember the answer. Monet. Uh-oh. Throws that Storm Hammer. Bramble Maze couldn't quite maneuver his way through it, but I don't really have much more in terms of control. It's still 2 for 2 in the bounties. Early tango, though. For Monet used.
Ooh. Lena needs to be careful. They see Clockwork. They see PYW with that Observe Ward. So he's going down the river. Extra bit of a movement speed. X-Noah is in a good spot, but they can't really catch him.
Yeah, it'd be tough to get him under the tower. Not something you want to commit to. Lloyd also blocking the creeps. So even with that block, ends up getting hit a little bit by the tower. Readjust the lane, and we take a look as mid is Somnus on the Storm against the Tiny of Knight. Or aka Y-Chen. But how does this matchup go? Storm v Tiny.
I don't think anybody dies in this matchup. Tiny's way too tanky. Like this hero, when he's played in the solo lane, his strength gain is insane. He gets 4 strength per level. So that's almost 100 HP for every single level, plus all the stats that he brings, buying gauntlets. So he's going to be fine. Both of them are going to be getting the farm. Also, Somnus should not die in this matchup. So, going to be pretty farm heavy. Both of them kind of rely on getting the runes, so I want to see 2 supports starting minute 4 to start going mid, secure those bounty runes, maybe try to steal it away.
See if that ends up happening. Bottom lane has been pretty quiet, and top lane, Monet X Nova, a combo of Phoenix and Sven. But again, maybe not a duo that gets many kills. It looks like bottom lane, to me, feels like the most killer of all the 3 lanes.
Yeah, JT doesn't feel too comfortable playing this lane, double melee into double range, so they are going to try to manipulate the creep wave, maybe get some stacks going. PYW needs to be careful here.
Already eating some damage, but no dual breath, no liquid fire thrown over onto PYW mid lane, though. Look at the difference in CS already.
That's a bit of a skill difference as well. This is not how this matchup should work. We're talking about Giga Chad Somnus against Knight.
Maybe the headset ears were holding him back, because
All
right
these
now,
years,
new headphones. Look at this. Just looking to get quickly into 20 CS at 3 minutes.
Somnus has always been a lane dominator. Like, this is one of his strengths. I don't think this guy had many flaws throughout his career. Has always been stable. One of the most annoying guys to play against when it comes down to the mid lane. I don't remember a single time where I can, like, you know, because everybody in their long careers have a moment where they're like, oh, he fucked up really bad. But Somnus, he's been just like very, very good. And Knight, sitting at 15 right now, but Somnus having a complete free farm.
Yeah, completely free farm, getting a couple denies under his belt as well. But using that avalanche, just trying to soak up some CS if they can. Bottom lane still pretty quiet. The game doesn't have its first blood just yet. It kind of feels like you can kind of remember everybody's biggest mess up in a game or throughout their career. Do you have a one that you remember of yourself at all, or is it just
What do you mean one? There's a half of the career.
Oh man. I was gonna guess which one was yours, and I almost feel like it was answering the email. Are you willing to cast with B-Cop?
Yeah, I said yes. Unfortunately, I'm like, yeah, my career didn't work out as amazingly as I expected it to be, so I had to answer yes. And now I'm here. Now I'm stuck.
Oh, no.
JT getting initiated on bottom.
Oh. Taking some damage. He gets passed over a tango. He'll heal up a little bit.
I think Chidori had stun available for JT, and they were trying to get the kill. But POW was not close by, so maybe they thought he's going to be able to get in, disrupt him. Lanes, other lanes are going well. Irving is farming nicely against Sven, and this Phoenix, you said this is not a killer lane by any means. It is a lane where they want to get most of the levels out of the lane, secure Sven's farm, and then Sven's going to go jungle. X-Noah is going to stay in the lane, collect some of that solo XP without trying to die. So a bit of a slower lineup from Azure. Bristleback also not a hero that is super aggressive, but they might get Lina here.
Yeah, Chidori in some trouble. Goes out, the stun lands on PYW, but the battery assault and the damage from JT to get the first blood for the side of Azure. Even think about getting a +1 here onto the heroes. JT throwing out these quills, doing some heavy damage. The Viscous Laser Dude is getting up there, and JT under the tower.
Nice frog.
But this is going to be another kill for Azure, and JT has to get that tower aggro off himself so he can survive.
He has enough gold actually to buy full Vanguard 6 minutes in on top of Bracer. He's going to pull the lane as well, get some solo XP. I think Lina in this matchup, I see that she has Falcon Blade completed, but I think you need boosts of speed. You need to be able to outrun them. You need to be able to get away from Clockwork. That's the most important thing. Because if you get initiated on, you could see the damage coming out from both of these heroes. Stacking quills, stacking goo. And JT is not even going to go back. Staying in the bottom lane. Oh, Monet.
Greedy. Very greedy.
X-Noah, look at the smile on his face. He's like, phew. Monet. It should not happen.
No. And I don't think that'll be a moment where he tilts out, but there have been some very big tilt Monet moments. You know, the most notable Monet moment being the one where he
is it Morphling related? No,
it is not. He was playing Razor against Heckies and died like 4 times in 11 minutes and just called GG. He was like, all right, that's it, I'm done. He didn't want to play anymore.
Do you remember that guy a couple of years ago, maybe like 6 years ago or something? They were playing South American qualifiers, and I think he just left. He said, I'm not sure if that's true or not, that he had to go to the mall with his mom.
No,
somebody in chat will remember this story. I'm not sure if it was like the semifinals or the grand finals, but
grand finals.
He had to go. He had to bail. Like I think he saw some of the shoes that were on sale, and mom did not want to lose that opportunity. She did not want to miss out.
I can't wait for the delay to be up. I want to see who knows this story. I need a little bit more info on this. Might have to message John when I get the chance.
Who?
John X Fire.
Oh, John X. Oh, it was South American scene, so I'm not sure.
Oh, South America.
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
I thought you said SEA. EYW soaking up some experience mid because Somnus, he is level 8. And now bottom to potentially get a kill here onto Lloyd. And by potentially, I mean very much get a kill on Lloyd. Sword Guardian and the Avalanche with toss. Ooh, the ball lightning avoiding the LSA. Still has a lot of mana to work with.
It is a lot of stuns that they do have, but very nicely done from Somnus. They placed down that Observer Ward. UIW did earlier. And he hides in the trees, finds Jakiro, gets the kill, and gets out. Forces 4-man rotation. Forces Dawn ulti.
Radiant's middle tower.
And then just farms a stack. And Somnus is as efficient as it gets at the moment. Sitting top of the net worth. The one struggling the most currently is surprisingly Monet. He's bottom of the core net worth. I say that, but there is no Solar Guardian available. They go to the Supernova. Ooh. That's a bit of a flub. And they might pay for this as PYW is dead. Irving coming back around to get that kill.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
They dove in a little bit too far. They flubbed.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
But Irving able to secure a kill on his own. He's going into the blade mail early.
Okay, I found the story. I had to Google the story. It was 7 years ago. Midas out of South American qualifiers because of Suits. Apparently, Suits had to go to the mall with his mom, so he couldn't play the tiebreaker, and now Midas is out. And there's the whole chat, and there's an update apparently, and he actually lied and wasn't playing Fortnite the whole and was playing Fortnite the whole time.
That's even wilder. I thought he just went to the mall. Now you're telling me he played Fortnite instead. You know, when your group signs on, you gotta play. You don't get those opportunities too often.
Yeah, the boys were online. They're like, we haven't played in such a long time together. We have to bang out the game right now.
You joining us for duo queue? Hell yeah. What are you doing right now? Oh, just playing in a grand final.
It was a tiebreaker one, so it has quite a lot of upvotes. I think I saw like 4,000 upvotes on that thread. Closed it because I thought we were done talking about that one. But Monet, he continues to farm up. Is definitely going to catch up. Has Dormant Curio with alert right now, so attack speed, Mask of Madness. Bringing 2 supports to try to defend this tower. Curio is already in there. 2 supports, they don't really provide them with much. X-Noah is level 7 because he was soaking up some of that XP. So both supports are kind of high level. It's just that they can't really do much, like in terms of getting in. So X-Noah just might die here. That's exactly what he's going to do.
Yeah, not using the egg, not really having the opportunity to use the egg either. Just ends up dead. Gives up a life, but overall, not really a big deal. He's opening up some space. Monet getting some farm. He's starting to climb the ladder, and they've got a 3,000 net worth lead. Especially a big lead here for Somnus, who's going into the Kaya Sanj to start. Somnus having such a good game so far. And he's keeping towards top. PYW is level 7, so he has hookshot available. They're going to look to try and make a move and play aggressively the whole time, too. This is something that's kind of scary, is the fact that JT just has an open game.
Complete free farm, has 2 of those kills, did manage to kill tower in the bottom lane.
Irving.
He's in.
Hookshot. And they are going to get this kill. They've got the Vortex. They have the damage. God Strength Fuse. Monet getting the kill there onto this Dawnbreaker.
Dawnbreaker doesn't like to play into Clockwork matchup. I mean, Clockwork's not the most popular hero now. I also don't like how we're balancing some of the heroes in terms of we give them something, then we figure out it's too strong. For example, Clockwork Battery Assault. It dealt double damage to creeps, and the hero was super popular because it did allow you to get the farm. And then we figured maybe it's too strong, and then we took it away from him, and now he's pretty much nowhere to be seen. It has always been PYW's classic, but this matchup, yeah, doesn't allow you to use pretty much any of your abilities. Can't use Celestial Hammer, can't get out because of the Battery Assault, can't use Starbreaker, Solar Guardian gets interrupted. It's pretty much Clockwork against Primal Beast. Not any of your abilities are going to get interrupted.
12 cam stacked here for Azure. To the 6 of Future Esports. Shrine's gonna spawn up. PYW gonna grab his. The other one available still on the side of the Radiant. You can see that Lina had been farming. Chidori trying to do anything again. He's got the Maelstrom into the Falcon Blade. They do look towards mid, but X-Nova soaking up a lot of experience, a lot of gold for him too.
And a good amount of farm, because your carry is not active at all. He's going to be farming in the outer ring. Monet about to finish off his Echo Saber. This is going to be such a big timing for them once he picks up his BKB, once he gets the Blink Dagger. And again, PYW is in.
Quick shot Bedlam Avalanche. So PYW going to give up his life for the kill of Somnus, who will get himself Galvanized Stack. Also gets to level 12, so pushes that up to 9. Dawnbreaker, they're looking to go, but they've got the blade now.
Double blade mill.
To the side, JT, he's going to survive this. Supernova pops, and Irving's dead. JT getting the kill. They initiated onto him, but the help of his team, he's able to survive. Sunray on the JT, that'll heal him up. X-Nova helping out as best he can, using a pretty good Supernova off on the edge of the fight.
What do you call him when he dies, when they kill Supernova? They call him X-Nova.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
That might be the best one I've ever heard from you. Like, that is actually one of the best ones. The best part is your laugh. It makes me know how proud you are of that one, and just like, I don't know, that might be the best. Somebody needs to make a top 5 Lacoste bang. Knight, Sunray pretty low. Spirit Vessel hook shot, they get the kill on a Knight. They're going to look for more. The LSA is going to land on the 2. The damage coming through on a Somnus, but they'll continue forward for the Jakiro, getting themselves a second. X-Nova does end up dying, but they've got themselves the Vortex pulling in. Chidori trying to get Somnus, but just does not have the damage. And that is a 3-for-1 in the favor of Azure Ray. As the Cogs and still on a PYW, the Terrorize lands, but the TP attempt, and that is a Dark Willow that is able to lead.
Sister's Shroud. Not sure if that made so much difference, but he got the kill, so his Sister's Shroud did reset. This item is a bit underrated. When I first read it, I'm like, is this really good? And then I thought it was shitty, and then I played with it, and suddenly this item feels really nice, especially when you're playing against some right-clickers, like you're playing against Storm, who wants to zip in, wants to deal that damage. Same goes for Sam. This is basically, not gonna say the better version, because it's definitely not, but it also gives you second chance to miss the attack, which is pretty nice. What was the item called? The one that gave move speed, the one that gave you 100% evasion, and then it stopped working.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Gossamer Cape, that is right. My brain, for some reason,
Dire are scanning.
couldn't figure it out.
Appreciate that production.
We removed the item. I don't know if we cycled it out or if we deleted it permanently, but that was a very, very good item.
Hook shot and the Vortex. Meaning a lot in onto Irving, and they will get a kill onto the Dawnbreaker. What is a Gossamer?
What is this, some quiz show?
Anyway.
Like, what? What is Azure Ray for 500? What is Gossamer?
for 1,000. Thank you, Alex. Appreciate that.
Radiant's bottom tower.
We'll be back from commercial to see the final Jeopardy. Anyway, 10-6 for Azure Ray, as they've got an 8,000 net worth lead. Monet continuing to farm now, was bottom
Radiant's bottom
of the
attack.
net worth for the cores, but has put himself towards the top. He's there with JT, who's having a pretty much free game. And this is really troublesome for future esport. And yeah, the Dota Plus win probability, honestly, a little bit higher than I thought it would be for the Radiant side.
This might not be the future of the Dota esport the way that he's playing right now.
Even with the Terrorize and the ulti from Irving,
They got him.
finally get the kill. X-Nova's also dead. But Chidori, he's the first one to fall on the side of Future Esports, so that means a lot of their damage is kind of taken out of the fight. Somnus, he's able to get himself at least the Jakiro. They get 3 kills on the side of Azure despite losing 2. The whole time Monet farming. He's going into the BKB, looking to get involved afterwards.
I was surprised JT didn't go for earlier pipe or at least Glimmer Cape. Seems like he wants to go for both items. Finished off Crimson Guard. They didn't have that much right-click damage anyway, because Lena's damage is some right-click, but most of the damage is magical Maelstrom procs, your LSA, your ulti. It's very easy to itemize against this type of a lineup. I think Crimson, like Vanguard's fine. I think Crimson is a bit of a bait.
Would you, yeah, the Crimson Blade Mail, he is going for pipe now, but it is going to be some time till he gets that. Sister Shroud
Radiant are scanning.
getting picked up again by the Dark Willow. Quick Tormentor, easy. PYW gets a shard. Has access to the jetpack. Has Force Staff, Phase Boots, Force Staff, and he's also got himself a Null Talisman. We've been kind of conversing about Null Talisman.
That seems like China is pretty big on that item. Haven't really seen it other regions pick it up as much. Maybe like on offline Bristleback, on offline Tango. In combination with the Bracer, JT again.
They're trying, but he's still alive. Sunray, Macro Fire, and Jet. Now they're going to put his foot from Max Nova, goes into the Supernova. And Dawnbreaker with the ult, but the ball lightning to get the kill there onto the Phoenix. But down goes this Dark Willow. Chidori
Monet
falls.
and Somnus start cleaning up.
3 Dawn. And they're going to look as they kill Knight and take out the Dawnbreaker. Full team went for Azure.
They just don't have enough. This is also pre-pipe, these fights. They just don't have enough. They just don't have enough damage. Like, they're super tanky, Sword Spirit, SNY, BKB. We talked about them not having abilities that go through debuff immunity. Sure, there is Solar Guardian, but you're not afraid. This is not instant by any means. It might become almost instant when he picks up Aghanim Scepter, but it is quite difficult. 17,000 already for Azure.
Not the easiest of games to come back from. Well, let's take a look at the replay. They started by originally going for JT. And X-Nova just stand his ground, go to the Unray. Eventually, Chidori gets the right clicks, just ignoring Monet, who's right in the field.
Not much he can do.
But,
we said that this
yeah.
is going to be the big timing, them picking up BKB on Sven with the Blink Dagger. Now he's going to start to get even more smaller damage items, Crystallis, then he gets to the Daedalus. Heroes are just going to explode. You're not going to be able to react to both supports. And you don't have any like real support items right now. No Glimmers, no Force Staff. So heroes are just going to straight up die whenever they get initiated on by Sven.
Well, they got initiated there. End up losing Irving once more. Lloyd looking for an ice path, but good job there by Somnus to avoid the ice path. Ancient Prowler Shaman trying to make his life a little bit more difficult with the Petrify, but Somnus didn't really care for it.
Middle tower is under attack.
Chidori trying to get as much as he can out of the map, looking for this BKB, but still about 1,000 gold away from it, so it'll be a little bit of time. And I don't know how much time he's got. They're down 20,000 net worth. With an Aegis in the hands of Somnus. Monet closing in on level 20 as well. Makes me think that they just could push in and
They
potentially
could,
end
but
this
they
game in the
also
next
want to
few
give
minutes.
respect to getting tossed back. Maybe getting, like, because The amounts of stun that they do have is pretty insane on Radiant's lineup. But I could also see them going for the high ground, getting the pick off, and then committing. While having this Aegis on a Storm Spirit. Monet is smoked up. He's ready to go.
See what either of them can find. You can see Knight's the one who's sitting on the back. He's the one who wants to blink into the toss back. But now Irving again will use that shard to try and stay alive, but the hook shot follows up the vortex, and Irving tries to toss the hammer to some freedom, but it won't matter. Celestial Hammer not pulling him into anything of doing, and Monet, Knight, he thought about it, but he blinked in and he didn't do anything. No toss back, Terrorize connects, JT's in the base. Vessel on him, but these heroes are being sent back into their account. You know, when they find the Dawnbreaker ult onto a couple of the Supernova coming through, and this is a problem for the side of Future Esport. You get the first kill on his Omnis, you do take out JT. At least without the Bristle, they have a shot.
This just might be
Sunray,
it.
Spirit Vessel, Irving's dead too. Lloyd ends up falling. GG is called. Full team wipe here for the side of Azure. The shot that they had was there and went away very quickly as game one, 25 minutes in, goes to Azure. Tanky as they need to be. Irving on that Kunkka, Chidori on that Shadow Fiend in the safe lane, I believe. And we'll see how it all pans out. Somnus really dominated in game number one. It'll be quite interesting to see if he does it again in game number two. As the matchup maybe, you know, isn't exactly what it ends up being. We said that the matchup in the first game was pretty close overall, but player-wise, it ended up being all Somnus. And he just played it perfectly. Now wrapping around on Future Esport with 4 heroes. They might run into a fight. And UIW immediately with the Cogs. They go to the cold feet. And that Cogs pushing him back means he's frozen over. That's first blood at least. Xnova getting credit for that one. Lloyd already has himself 8 on the decay. But he is still starting to run. Knight now
Blood
needs to
grenade
leave.
is ready on
JT
PYW.
coming around. Shield Grash. And they focus their attention now onto the Slardar. Cold feet again, but he is just a little bit too quick inside this water.
Ooh, man, they just lost the fight with Undying at level 1, which is a really bad sign. Your Slardar, he needs to... I don't know where he's going to be, because right now he's getting chased by Clockwork. He can't TP out. He might just die here. Roshan got the bash. PYW will get the kill.
Roche now 0-0-1 to start the game.
This also leaves Somnus in the mid lane, getting some of the solo XP, getting some of the free CS as well. Knight, I think this is the best thing that could have happened, because if he runs back, then needs the TP, his game is kind of ruined.
Yeah, it would have been really rough for him, so he ends up TPing into the lane, but he's going to be behind. Meanwhile, PYW getting a courier, taking out Chidori's Tangos, so he is without regen, has 4 charges on a wand, but a little bit tougher when you don't have that regen. Life not as easy. Mid matchup, I'm curious. I'm curious to see how Somnus plays it, as he's already level 2, has that boundless strike, and just keeping Knight away from the wave.
Knight did buy Boots of Speed as his first item before Bottle. Trying to square up, but he also has Sprint level 1. By level 1, I mean he got it at level 2. So it doesn't seem like he wants to trade. Usually you put points in Bash of the Deep. That seems like he's thinking that level 2 Jingu is going to be way too much for him to deal with.
This is a bit of a problem, especially if Somnus can control the wave. He is already at 7 denies. Has to try and get this under the tower. Didn't get that one, but did get the second attempt. But again, a balanced strike with another deny, and there's another. I mean, this is, again, just a clinic from Somnus in terms of zone denial and creep denial. Knight is not really going to have fun in this lane, and now the lane comes all the way back for Somnus. So this is perfect so far.
10 denies. Slaughter is sitting at 6. BYW trying to square up against Undying. This is not an easy lane for them in the top by any means, so they need to manipulate the creep wave. Playing into Shadowfiend Undying might be a bit too difficult. Pango from the offlane doesn't really provide you with that much damage. You can even check that he has a lucky shot. Doesn't plan on spending the mana. Chidori
trying to get something, even going under the tower, taking a couple of shots. PYW pulling the creep wave all the way over. You can see JT not there with a lot of health. Neither really is PYW. We'll try to hold on, at least for the moment. Not give up anything in this lane. No kills for future esport as Monet getting chased, but the cold feet and the torrent off the mark. Now the turnaround with the rocket barrage. Monet alive for the moment. The slowdown for the vortex, and Irving can't get this kill onto the gyrocopter.
That was nicely done. Exnova has a couple of tangos for him to work with. What is he bringing on the courier? Just a clarity for now. Monet doesn't have much HP to work with. Neither does JT. That's going to be the kill.
Ooh.
I'm a little surprised he did go for point and lucky shot, because he has enough mana to use both of the abilities, has magic wand as well. Because if you misuse shield crash, they're going to use that opportunity and try to go on you. Shield swashbuckle usually like pushes you out of the trouble. He can't land the second, maybe even third raise. On this in the mid lane, 24 and 12 against 15 and 4 right now.
At least Knight is starting to get something out of it, but it really isn't much. They've only got that singular kills on a JT. Gets slowed up, chasing for Monet thanks to the Death Rhyme stacks doing their thing. Oh, I like that addition to Ancient Apparition with the whole Death Rhyme being a thing. Obviously, it's not new.
It's been like that for a while, and people were not picking Ancient Apparition, and then suddenly realized how strong it is, and this was the first pick hero for quite some time now. It got nerfed, but definitely needed. But definitely a good addition. Batrider. He's getting zoned out. Monet level 4, 2 points in Flak, 2 points in Rocket Barrage.
Not really getting touched anymore in the lane, at least for now. 32 and 4, 34 and 18 for Somnus, who is closing in on level 6. Meanwhile, JT getting a kill, ends up trading PYW for it. Chidori getting credit for that. And now Somnus is in fact at level 6. We'll see what he wants to do if he moves anywhere. That changing of the guard is his facet. So not like the Ame Simeon stride.
That's the one that I wanted to see. So we'll see how good it's going to be. Double rate band on him. Wants to have that
Full
extra bit of armor, extra bit of damage. Trying to make a move onto Somnus.
Flame break, tombstone in the Wukongs. Now I'm going to start to try and focus on this tower, or on this tombstone, but ends up changing the guard and gets under the tower.
All right, I'm convinced. I convinced myself by watching Somnus do it here, getting out of trouble, that this facet is viable.
So you're all in on it?
Definitely. Even though Ame had a pretty great game with the other facet, allowed him to jump from the trees, did kind of innovate. People have done it before, but this build has not been viable in quite some time. Getting the Radiance immediately. He had Sage Mask, Null Talisman, PYW. Lloyd, very dead here.
Yeah, even the double decay is not going to matter. They'll get this kill. 5 to 7 minutes in for the side of Azure. One shrine picked up by the Bat Rider, the other shrine picked up by this Clockwork. Jumping halfway to 5 off that. Meanwhile, X Nova, he's just about level 5. Early 6 for him would be quite nice. Using this Ice Blast is one of those things. Ancient Apparition just, it gives you kill possibility at all points in the game. You always have a way back in with a good Ice Blast.
Pretty much. This time around, they don't have the best setup other than Clockwork, but other heroes were kind of meh. But you can make it work. You can basically solo kill people. You can kill people when you pair them up with another support, and that's always going to be a deadly combo. Somnus. It dodged that stun.
Crush. Not landing. Flame Break. And now here comes the Ghost Ship. Everybody's here again. I mean, they want to shut down Somnus. They'll bring in the whole kit and caboodle for him.
Much better game. We talked about their draft looking so much better in the second game. Knight is, not going to say recovering, but with his stat on Somnus, he's going to be able to catch up a little bit. And they also have good ways to farm. We're talking about Shadow Fiend. We're talking about Kunkka from the off lane, who is about to crack level 7. Tidebringer being on 4-second cooldown. Makes your farm pretty insane, and already a 2k gold lead.
Yeah, Chidori farming really well. Almost 5,000 net worth. Back here in the jungle, hasn't really been touched by JT. He's level 6, so he does have that Rolling Thunder. But not really seeing the movement and the dominance that we saw in game number 1 from Azure. They are up 5-3, but it was a lot more of a shutdown in game number 1 at this point.
It was. Somnus was having a blast of a game. He is making a move, going through the Twin Gate. Is level 7, but no points in Primal Spring, which makes it a lot more difficult for him to try to set things up. Bat Rider.
Actually the one who's spotted, but the Cold Feet won't pop over, and now he's kind of got to run a little bit. He'll change the guard. He'll go to the other side. They get to kill the Undying. The Ghost Ship comes through. UIW is dead. Meanwhile, tonight, and this Bat Rider is looking for an opportunity up on this cliff, but I'm not really sure what for. He's only level 4. He doesn't have a lasso, and there's not really much he could do. So both these teams just kind of disengage off that.
Again, it was nicely done by Somnus. Changing the guard. Facet works out amazingly for him. Gets out of trouble, doesn't need to be afraid.
Isn't really afraid either. I mean, why would you be? This has kept Monet pretty free overall. He just continue to farm as this Falcon Blade, looking for the early Ags if he can get his hands on it. He's top of the net worth for the side of Azure. Still no lasso, but they do have level 6 now for the Ancient Apparition. Full supports on Future Esport don't have their ulti. See if they want to work with this Ice Blast early on. If they can. It would be quite the way to take out Chidori if they could find him, but he's been sitting pretty far back.
Right now, both supports trying to get their level 6s in the triangle. There's been a good amount of stacking, which Irving is going to take care of. But JT making the move. And again, JT's going to be buying auras for the team. Going immediately into Vanguard / Crimson Guard. Most of the damage on their side is physical, so this is a very good item to be able to block the game, block some of that damage. And I also would love to see maybe X-Nova getting Pavis or getting full Solar Crest later on. UIW, we've seen him in the previous game as well, going for extra armor. He is going for phase boots on the hero, plus Windlace, which makes him much more maneuverable in the fight, giving them extra bit of armor as well. How's that a facet? How's that a chainmail? Why is that a thing? Why would you ever choose that? Like, it should be a part of a Clockwork. It should not be his facet.
You don't think chainmail? It's delicious. That's why. Whew. Damage on the Ancient Apparition. No Ice Blast throw at all. And Monet actually on the cusp of dying inside the jungle, by the way, but he is fine. TP's back home.
Radiant are scanning.
Gotta buy 100 chainmails. Give yourself a feast.
This just
I'm
sounds
famished.
horrible.
Diminishing returns, certainly, right?
Even if it's part of the clockwork, like, might be good for like 50, 60-minute game, but other than that, it's just a massive meme. JT. Isn't the Rolling Thunder?
Rolling Thunder X was going to be around here, though. Look for the Requiem that lands, but waiting on this potential Ice Blast. Slithering Crush, Wukong's Ice Blast committed on tonight. That'll be a kill to the Slardar. You can't really run into this Wukong's. They've got the hook shot. Irving, though, pops the Blade Mail. You
He's
need
going to
be
start to
careful.
lose
Double
HP
decay.
now. Irving.
Lasso
will
on
drop.
cooldown. Not a lot of mana here for the Bat Rider either. And now they've got the Soul
He
Rip. They're
sniped him with the
looking to
rocket.
jump to get the kill onto Irving with that rocket. Another couple of decays as he's up to 24 on the decay for the strength for this Undying.
Still not good enough. The amount,
No, not
PYW
really.
waited for that for a really long time, seeing that they dealt so much damage to Kunkka, his Rum, and both were wearing off. And then Monet also managing to snipe them with Flak Cannon. Knight is in.
Mid.
It's a bit
Balance
of a-
strike.
Maybe he tried to force a rotation. I don't think he wanted to commit for a kill. Seeing that he has Spark of Courage, double rate band, sitting underneath the tower, basically has 20 armor on Monkey King.
Yeah, only level 1 on the Corrosive Haze, not going to be enough to really get the kill, as we saw. X-Nova really patient on the Ice Blast, too. Decided to end up going for Knight, but maybe they'd want to try and get a kill on Chidori. But weren't too concerned with him. T going Crimson to start.
Radiant
And this stag's just about finished on Monet.
are fortified.
Could be a time to fight once he gets this to look and go again. But they're even smoked up as a duo to meet up with JT to potentially find themselves a kill in a night.
Radiant
I think they should be playing around Chidori. Chidori is super farmed, 8,000 gold on Shadow Fiend, but at the end of the day, you're still Shadow Fiend. I've seen this hero fail so miserably so many times. If there are two heroes that I hate to have the most on my team as carries, Anti-Mage and Shadow Fiend. I think my win rate with these heroes, if I have them on my team, sub 10%. Ooh, a little bit of a misclick there. Misplay. Not sure if they're going to be able to get the kill. Also missing
No,
Ancient
everything
Apparition
missed.
ulti. Who do you even
That
blame
shot
there?
lands, he's dead.
Who do you blame there?
Radiant's
Never yourself. That's the right answer. The only answer, Benjamin, is to never blame yourself.
I never do.
radiant structures are
Don't worry.
You always do.
Radiant's middle tower.
That's true. It's always my fault. Northern Crush Ghost ship coming through. X-Nova's dead with 4 heroes. 5 heroes around on this tower. Now they've got the lasso. It's onto the Monkey King. Somnus balance strike, but can he survive? He has to run away, burning out pretty low, but he'll be alive as they hold the high ground. But how long are they willing to do so? Going Thunder right near the steps might be a bad spot for them to be in. Chidori doesn't commit to this Requiem. They're going to have Ancient Apparition up in 5 seconds. So how long are they willing to stay? Because Ice Blast is going to be available for them. But the heroes on the side of Azure, they just kind of give up position and leave it with the Tombstone down and don't want to fight.
It does seem like they need more. They need to get the pick off with this Ancient Apparition Clockwork and then maybe try to take the fight. There was also no Wukong available. And Somnus, I know that he has BKB in his quick buy, but he also might need to pick up his Aghanim Shard. I think this might be the cheaper way of him getting out of trouble to get initiated on. If X Mark into Torrent or both combo is not perfect, you can't get out as well.
Yeah, might need multiple options. Now Blink Dagger available on the Bat Rider. This could be a little bit of a turning point if they get a pickoff. We'll have to see if they want to smoke now with this Blink Dagger, if they want to go and try and find a lasso combination kill. Instead, now you kind of know the Blink Dagger exists. Ice Blast coming through. Oh, the damage! Yeah, he's going to shatter. It's at least a trade.
Good amount of XP for Ancient Apparition. Level 9.5 from that kill. And sitting on 1,400 gold. They definitely need some armor items. X-Noah, let's see what he decides to pick up. I'm down for Pavis, or Pavice, whatever you want to call it. And yeah, most of the damage is physical. You're playing against Shadow Fiend, you're playing against Slardar, so you want to tank up as much as possible. Also to point out, Knight did go for his shard immediately after, so prioritizing some of his own farm after the nerfed Bash of the Deep in terms of the damage that you deal to the creeps. This is kind of very necessary for you to be able to clear the camps.
Right. What would you like to see his continued build-up be?
On Florida?
After now getting this shard, yeah.
Yeah, probably just a BKB. Maybe start thinking about getting Aghanim Scepter afterwards, but definitely need some kind of a protection. In terms of damage that goes through debuff immunity, there isn't really much other than Clockwork's Hookshot, and you're fine with that. I mean, Ancient Apparition does as well, but I'm thinking about heroes or spells that can't stop him while he's in BKB mode. 45% chance for future esports to win this game. Even Gaben knows that Shadowfiend is a shitty carry. Doesn't believe in it.
Not with the minimal lead it has right now. But they find themselves the Bat Rider. Wukong's even committed. They go to the defusal. That'll slow up Lloyd, and now he is in a world of hurt. Dies and respawns immediately. So he's back in it. PYW, he's also going to get chased. Want to get this kill. They've got the X. They have the Ghost Ship.
He's super tanky.
PYW
Sister's
is
Shroud.
still alive. Irving now on the run. Ice Blast is going to come through and land on Irving. And eventually, you got to assume they get this. And Knight, if he stays, he would be in trouble. So he needs to really leave this. But the chase was on for a moment to try and get that kill. He actually blinks back into the river.
This might be a mistake.
Yeah, this might be a massive mistake.
Defusal
Now
blade.
Knight, hook shot. Doesn't connect. Not sure it's going to matter all too much. They've got the extra help they need. JT's coming through, but this is going to be the sprint away, and he does actually escape.
Had the big Lotus, ate it, didn't even pop his bottle, manages to get out, goes into the river, gets extra movement speed. But yeah, that fight. They initiated onto Clockwork, who has phase boots, so having extra bit of armor, blade mail on top of that, and having Sister's Shroud. So evasion, very good against Shadowfiend, very good against Slardar. They're thinking about taking Tormentor, but they will need Slardar.
Storm.
They're super low.
Rocket
If
flare,
BYW
yes.
can maybe get a hook shot here.
Ice
Ooh.
Blast. That
Got
lands.
him.
X-Nova snipes him. Gonna say if that was available a little bit earlier, but now all of a sudden they're still looking. They're searching for Chidori. Balance Strike comes through. Cold Feet's gonna freeze him over, and they get a kill onto the Shadow Fiend. The fragile economy of a Shadow Fiend game.
It's always the
could
same
be in a
story.
problem.
You always need that
Yeah.
one extra item. You always prioritize something over your BKB. And it never feels like you have enough. Yeah, they had a very good read on the situation. I also think that they had Observer Ward that got dewarded, which scouted the movement when they were going through the outer ring. Who got the shard in the end? It was Batrider.
worth it or no?
It's okay. It's okay. If you're playing like core Batrider, or if we're talking about scaling to some mid and late game, then the shard is fine. But I don't think you're going to be feeling too much influence of this shard in some like 25, 30-minute fights.
Right. They smoke up again on Future Esport. They're trying to make this work. But the problem is, I want to say if they lose another fight, kind of like that,
Are scanning.
things might start to plummet out of their favor very quickly. UIW, he was spotted for a second, but they go to the lasso. The BKB is popped, and the turnaround is
that's
there.
a good rolling thunder.
Jador is in trouble. The hook shot, the cogs, and now the ice blast flying in. That means Irving's in trouble. They lost Chidori already, and Irving will eventually shatter. PYW will die, but it's more than worth it.
Ravage.
They will lose a
Do
fourth.
it. Croakers did it. Yeah, these fights, they're stacking on top of each other. Jaro just had his BKB reveal. Slaughter managed. Oh, not going to be able to go through the gates. This is also
Gonna try and chase.
Yeah, this is also not Monkey King from the previous series with Primal
Simeon's
Spring.
Stride.
Yeah.
Almost says this BKB, but that is a big fight turnaround. Back-to-back deaths on Shadow Fiend is one of those things that just feels so detrimental to him having a good game.
Jaro had a pretty free enter to the fight, getting the BKB off, then getting called down. Couple of flat cannons as well. And also Rolling Thunder. Two of them getting stuck together, getting hit by Ice Blast inside of the cogs as well.
Take a look at the replay and quickly rip through this Batrider, and then the Rolling Thunder on the two, hook shot in. Cogs line up this Ice Blast, and this is a dead Batrider again. That's alive. And just about has the gold for the BKB recipe. Somnus will also have his BKB, and things for Future Esports starting to look a little bit grim. 20-8 in favor of Azure.
I don't know, something about carry Shadowfiend makes me super happy whenever I see the hero lose. He didn't lose yet, but we might get there eventually.
Being a hater.
Always. The only time I was fine with Shadowfiend when he was being played from the mid lane with Arcane Blink when it was CBR.
All right, that's fair enough. But you're also maybe a fan of the 1v1 mid tournaments, right?
Big fan. Back in my days, Benjamin, if somebody was talking shit to you, you invited them to private lobby 1v1 Shadowfiend, especially in these in-house leagues, where you could unvouch them. You could actually
Unvouch them?
Yeah, you could actually kick them from the league if you win.
That's
You had the option to
kinda
do
crazy.
so.
damn. That's like playing for Pink Slips. For all you not familiar, Pink Slips are your registration for the car. It's like Fast and Furious. Lasso, pulling in PYW, tanky but not tanky enough. BKB even committed here by
Monkey's in.
Somnus with the boundless strike. He goes through, has the Wukong's Ice Blast flying, landing on tonight. Makes him a little bit hesitant to jump back in, and they'll get the kill to Chidori again. Take out that tombstone, 200 gold there. Boundless strike lands. They get the Undying 2-for-1. And they're still looking. Knights in, kills X Nova, but that's just the support. Is this going to be worth it? It is if he can get out. Unka trying to leave. BKB even popped here by Knight. But they'll find Irving pushing these heroes back, but the Boundless Strike doesn't care about a tidal wave. He'll surf that wave into a kill onto the Kunkka.
Shadowfiend again having no real impact in the fight, dealing 1300 damage. This was just like some AoE damage with Requiem, but Monkey King was sticking on top of him, both of the BKBs plus Rolling Thunder. Unable to do anything while the rest of the team, like, I think Knight is really playing well. It's just that the carry is the problem. It's more about the hero rather than the player. What this, especially in a situation where you're playing into BKBs, and now Monet is going to be picking up that Aegis and also finishing Daedalus in the next minute or so.
Damage will be overwhelming. Has the Aegis now on the gyrocopter. Weren't really able to kill him before, and now they're going to have to kill him twice currently. Things might change, of course. Always wait out this Aegis, but probably, I mean, either or to the detriment, fighting into the Aegis and or trying to just wait it out. Just farming way too well. X-Nova, level 15 on this Ancient Apparition.
He's living in most of the fights. Did get that solo XP from that kill when he was paired up with PYW. Love the items. Rod of Atos, Solar Crest. Now probably gonna get Ghost Scepter for himself just to have protection against most of the physical damage, because Slaughter has been killing him. Knight having a good time. It's that they never get to initiate, and I also got to give credit to JT. His Rolling Thunders have been very disruptive in the backlines.
Tier 1 tower, top lane finally being taken out. They lose that bottom tier 2 for it.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Trying to see maybe if anybody comes back to defend this, and I mean, currently they've just got the Bat Rider going. Irving finally going to show his face. They'll go to the Torrent. Alice Strike not going to jump in on that. Has the X, that doesn't want to commit in too fully.
I think they needed one extra hit to proc his Rum. Could have been pretty big. It's like they're not done yet. Creep Wave is approaching. Bat Rider on the different side of the map, trying to go for some split push action.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
And it got him a tier 1 and a tier 2.
Let's see that
so
shard
far.
in action now. Bat Rider, this is why he
They
got it.
The Aegis.
It's good. This is good. Look at Bat Rider's damage. 15 stacks.
Doing a lot onto this tier 3 tower. How much are they willing to give up? When the hook shot comes in, they go to the Ice Blast. Chidori in trouble. A 4-stab back. Still with the Rolling Thunder right on top of him. They'll go for this Undying instead. They've got the Swashbuckle thinking about the Wukong's command, but there's the lasso on
This
it.
is the tankiest target.
Comes in into Irving. And JT still standing his ground. They're starting to go to the decays, but Irving needs to be very careful. They've got the Tombstone down. They get the kill there onto this Kunkka. And they'll buy back on Irving. Cogs around on a Knight. The right clicks. Monet needs to be careful. Pops the BKB now trying to turn this one around. Balance strike once again. Chidori with a cold feet on.
Torrent on to 3 or 4.
He's in trouble. But Monet is low. He is dead. So is Chidori. They both don't have buyback. JT drops. That's going to be a third now, losing PYW. Somnus trying to just leave and will TP out as X-Nova also falls. 4 heroes out of the side of Azure, and maybe just a bit too disjointed for them. And
Way too deep. Yeah, definitely way too deep. And now you just gave Aghanim Scepter to Slaughter. So he's going to become even tankier to kill. Extra status assistance, bonus armor as well. He's going to be sitting in the middle of a fight. Kunkka is also getting closer. He had to buy back in the previous fight, but still 1,400 gold away from his Aghanim Scepter, which is going to make them even tankier. This game is definitely not in the bag for Azure.
Radiant's middle tower.
Imagine if you had something different than Shadowfiend. Because Shadowfiend hasn't really been doing damage in the last couple of fights.
No, he hasn't had the impact that they would have liked from something else. And the couple of deaths he's had have like quieted out his game. Kunkka also looking for that Ags. They're going to get themselves another shard here. This time it's going to be for Chidori.
Yeah, nothing too crazy. Also, I was surprised that he didn't put a single point in Feast of Souls. This ability has been buffed. Like, it's a good amount of move speed that you do get. And attack speed on top of that.
At the cost of 5 souls. don't know. We'll see if he ever takes a level.
We're trying to make this ability relevant, but it seems like we still haven't found the middle ground for it because it still feels like the numbers still feel pretty bad, but I saw some Shadowfins take it.
They might eventually. I don't know when that point will be. Maybe if this game goes 45 minutes, we'll see it. But currently refusing, at least for the moment, to go for it. JT looking for the AC, Monet, on Satanic.
I'm a little surprised JT picked up Hyperstone as his item. You need to buy plate mail. If you're playing against 3 physical damaging cores, you also don't care about attack speed and tango as much. Maybe he thinks, I'll buy this, we're not going to be taking any fights. Okay, his career died. At least Monet's did.
In at least a bit, but able to escape.
There are some big items on future esports.
Data is now on the SF.
Yeah. Kunkka with Aghanim Scepter, BKB on Batrider.
Down the Bat Rider, Ice Blast. Coming through. Lands actually onto the Undying, but the lasso, the hook shot, the kill. PYW is the one who ends up dead because 4 heroes are there, and now 5 for the side of future esport. One more good fight, and it might be good night for Azure in game 2. And this is a bit of a struggle. I mean, this is not what they would have wanted, but the smoke ends up breaking. Boundless Strike comes through at 2. They do not have Ice Blast at the moment, but the Ghost Ship comes in with a Wukon's command. Need to be careful. They'll start this Rolling Thunder continually going into the back lines, but it's on looking for the Undying, who will soul rip. Irving, he X'd himself back towards the rest of the side of Azure, but he's not going to pay for it. They still haven't killed off anybody. The Undying's still alive, but now the Slardar is going to die. Knight ends up down. Down goes Lloyd. Ice Blast finally back up. That lands on Irving. That'll kill him. Undying respawns immediately, thanks to the Ceaseless Dirge. But 3 heroes die on future esport just when it felt like they were putting the game back into their hands.
JT, again, doing a lot of work. Setting things up with Monkey King, Boundless Strike onto 2 of them. Again, Shadowfin forced to use I don't think Requiem is dealing damage in the fight. Like, this ability is just maybe a disability, if you know what I mean. It just feels it has no impact. You need to use it to try to zone them out. They pop the BKBs. And now Monet onto the high ground. There should be a set of barracks. Kunkka is dead for a really long time. Irving did buy back in the previous fight.
Roche is up if they want to back for it. They already let Somnus go towards top, so they'll only take bottom set of racks for now. But they could get themselves an Aegis. They can get themselves ready to go for the next fight. They're up 9,000 net worth. We'll see if the setup is there, though, for future esport. If they can find a way to maybe defend against this Roche if they want to. Not really looking like that's the move they want to make at the moment. They're actually going to concede this, sit back. They're not... I say that. Roche now screams, but are they going to smoke? Are they going to move? Kunkka coming over, but he's a little bit slow. They're not exactly making a beeline to the pit.
Kunkka's not coming. I don't think the rest of the team is either, because Kunkka just X'd himself, and Roshan is already dead. So you need to play against Gyrocopter, who is also very close to his Butterfly, and Shadowfin is nowhere close. Like, getting Butterfly in this situation where most of the damage is physical, you're just getting so much value out of it. Slardar can't hit you. Sure, he can still stun you, but the right clicks are not going to go through.
Starting Trying to push top. Now they've got an Aegis in their hands again. They've got a banner ready to drop down. A little bit maybe of a missed opportunity to try and contest the pit, but they're willing to fight against the Aegis on Monet. Last time he had it, they took it out very quickly, so maybe they can repeat this process. And they're going to try and start it with the tidal wave over, and they might be able to get the first life, and they do very quickly. So not contesting the Aegis, not looking for that fight. They get the first life out of Mohenet's hands, and now they've got the lasso into the Requiem. They're going to try to move, but the Rolling Thunder comes in. Ice Blast lands on a both Knight as well as Irving. They're chasing this ball. Not really able to put the damage in.
Good Wukong's in the
from
back.
The side with a ballast strike. Oh, Sonus.
It looked like the fight was kind of over already, considering how well they were casting spells, killing Gyrocopter immediately, getting Torrent on Aegis respawn, and then Somnus just goes into the back line, Ancient Apparition, ulti, Slardo's in, buyback, double buy.
Yeah, balance strike, Torrent up in the air, but Monet pops the Satanic, the tidal wave pulling them in a little bit deeper, but they get the kill on a Knight as well as Lloyd. Everybody has spent their buybacks. PYW hookshotting on an X Nova to try and get away from this one. The Yule's up into the air. The Torrent's going to land with the Slither and Crush. They'll get the kill on the JT. They'll at least get one, but they got to look for more. Homing missile flying out, hitting on Irving. They have Ice Blast. If they maybe want to turn this, they're going to need to be careful about the positioning, but the Torrent does land on the PYW. They go in for the Ice Blast out.
Chidori, he got clipped.
That is going to go over onto 3 heroes. Irving's going to be hit by that Chidori hit as well. Slither and Crush to try and stop him.
He's going to shatter.
Comes out from Irving. But they've shattered Chidori. The lasso doesn't matter. Down goes Zhu. That's going to be 3 heroes dead again. They've nullified Irving. He's trying to throw out the ghost ship fleet. But Irving now on the run as they bomb back on the 2 heroes that died here on the side of Azure Ray. They get the kill on X Nova, but they'll look over at Monet, who is disarmed for the moment. Monet just died.
Man, Irving
unable to get anything back with this Satanic.
Another Wukong. This fight has been
nullifier.
going on for so long.
And they are going to take out Knight again. Buyback on Monet, buyback on X Nova. That should theoretically be it. It is. They call GG. And Azure Ray take the 2-0 over Future Esports.
Oof, they made him work for it. Future Esports, not the best showing in game number 1, but in this